Uno, dos, tres. And I think everything is working as I want to. Damn girl, we already have 3 watchers. The nerves.
Woo!
Alright, everything is working. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unresolved Crimes. I'm your host, Frank, and as always, my partner in crime, Heather.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Well, you got a case for us today, don't you, Heather?
I do.
Go ahead.
So this case is from June 4th, 2010, and it is about the disappearance of Kyron Horman. Kyron Horman was a child, only 7 years old, from Skyline Elementary School in Portland, Oregon. After attending a science fair at school in the morning, he went disappeared. So he was taken to his elementary school by his stepmother, Terry Horman, who attended the science fair with him. And she took a picture of him with his little display and what he made. And she posted that on her Facebook page later on in the day. So she left the school around 8:45 a.m. and the last thing she remembered seeing was Kyron walking down the hall to his class. So Terry's statements to the police indicate that after leaving the school at 8:45, she ran errands at 2 different Fred Meyer grocery stores until about 10:10 a.m. And that's been confirmed. The footage was released to the police that she was in Fred Meyer's during those times.
Mm-hmm.
So then between 11:39 a.m., she stated she was driving her daughter around town in an attempt to use the motion of the vehicle to lure the toddler to sleep. The toddler was suffering from an earache. It's then reported she went to a 24-hour fitness gym and exercised for an hour. By 1:21, she arrived home and posted that picture of Kyron at the science fair on her Facebook. At 3:30 p.m., Terry and her husband, the father of the missing child, his name is Kane, at 3:30 p.m., they went to the bus stop to meet Kyron. The bus driver informed them that the boy had not boarded the bus and to call the school to ask about his whereabouts. So they did, and the school secretary informed him that he was marked absent for the day. Nobody had seen him. So there was an initial extensive search. It was focused on a 2-mile radius around Skyline Elementary and on Sauvie Island, which is like 6 miles down Highway 30. Law enforcement hasn't disclosed their reasons for searching Sauvie Island, just that there may have been a ping from her cell phone that happened while she was in the area. But the cell phone towers are on Highway 30. The cell phone towers, there are none on Sauvie's Island. There's only one way in and one way out of Sauvie's Island as well, with a camera on a bridge, and her car was never seen going over or coming back. Just squash that one real quick. So there's a lot about like why this might have happened, etc. So Terry and Kane's marriage was falling apart. Kane actually files for divorce not long after, on June 28th, and is granted a restraining order against Terry. And within all of that legal proceedings and finding, it is believed that Terry is the reason behind Kyron disappearing. However, to this day, she's been cleared as a suspect by Multnomah County investigators.
Then there needs to be like probable cause, right? If she gets cleared.
Right. She has been subjected to 3 polygraph tests. First 2 came back that she was lying. The third one she walked out of in the middle of.
Wow.
So she was on Dr. Phil, and Dr. Phil wanted to cover this, and find out about, why she walked out of the test, etc. And she claims she's hard of hearing, and that can affect a polygraph test sometimes, according to them. However, just from my own personal experience of that the person who administers that polygraph test in the Portland metro area, I know of, on instance, 3 other people who have lied through their teeth and passed that polygraph. So that's why you can't use these in court, etc., is because there's really no conclusion that these can come from just a conclusion that they're hiding something, or a conclusion that they're being transparent.
Isn't it kind of like to catch somebody in a lie?
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
So it has also been noted that during their searching, they did involve cadaver dogs. And the cadaver dogs were allowed to search everywhere except for Kyron Horman's property. The father of the missing child will not allow the investigators with the dogs to go on the property.
Okay, wait. So
that's
the father.
a big red flag.
So wait, the father of the missing child. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Wow.
Not too long ago, they did a dive out by Savi's Island, and they found a little radio flyer red wagon, a kid's wagon. They have no evidence to say that this goes with this case. They have no evidence to say that this even belongs in another case, etc. It's just an observation that they made that off of the edge of a dock, a little wagon was found.
Okay.
And that's about it.
So,
I mean, there's a whole much more to this case. I mean, that's not it, but.
No, I get that. So, well, obviously, I have a couple of questions.
All right, let's go.
So, what would be the motive? What would be the motive for this child to become missing? Is there like any foul play, for example? I think they did.
I'm not certain. What I am certain of is the stepmother's her attitude regarding if she's been hurt, she's gonna hurt the other person harder, if not just as hard.
Yeah.
And that is something that Kane has verified. That she was a spiteful person in that aspect.
Yeah.
So I believe that if she does have involvement in this case, it's going to be around the fact that her and Kane had a child together. And once all this stuff with Kyron happened, she had to give custody of their daughter to Kane because of everything that was going on. So my thinking with the Kyron thing is, if Kyron was out of the picture, then she would be able to keep her daughter as they separated ways.
Yeah.
Which isn't far-fetched, say, in any leagues.
Kind of sounds
I
like.
believe that.
Kind of sounds like this woman has like an anti-social disability, or at least
Right.
from what you're saying, kind of has written narcissistic tendencies all over it.
Right, and you're not the only person to say something along those lines. There's a profiler that I watch on YouTube, Pat Brown. She's phenomenal.
Yeah, she's good.
She did a profile on this case, and she said along the same things that you said, is that there are definitely some red flags of a narcissistic personality disorder, like taking the pictures and showing that she's the greatest stepmom in the world,
Yeah.
etc. So like she's showboating essentially, like how good of a person she is. And so then if she did have something to do with the disappearance of Kyron, then that just shows there's a ton of premeditation to this.
Definitely. Yeah, as you said, Pat Brown is an amazing profiler.
Yes, I love watching her content.
Yeah, definitely. But that does not necessarily suggest like we always as human beings we always want to go like for the logical answer. But if she did this, then as you said, that definitely had some form of planning. It was not just a spur in the moment thing.
Right. And then to go more hand in hand with that kind of a theory there, in 2010, Rodolfo Sanchez, who was the landscaper for Terry, Sanchez came forward and said that Terry offered him a lot of money to kill her husband. And
Wow.
this was 5 months before Kyron went missing. But it took him almost. It took finding out everything that was going on for Rodolfo to come forward and to claim all this. And the interesting thing about Rodolfo is she never let her husband know she hired somebody else to do all the yard work so that her older son James like take the credit for it. So that was like a little white lie that she told her husband, like, oh, James is taking care of everything on the property, etc. When she had really hired somebody to do the work there. So already we can see the deceit in the relationship. We can see that she has no problem lying to anybody about stuff. Um, so yeah, that came forward in 2010, and then
So
yep,
hold
yep.
on. What is baffling me though that this woman allegedly kidnapped or at least did something to Chiron is that's what the general belief is, right? But why? Why would the father not allow to do any search with cadaver dogs?
I honestly have no idea. Either there's something he's trying to hide, or if there is something there, he doesn't want that attention to the table. But it blows my mind. If this was my child's 8.5 right now. If this was my baby boy, I dropped him off at school and he didn't come home on the bus, I'd be asking for the cadaver dogs in my yard, around
Yeah.
my house, my neighbor's yard, you name it. I would let them dogs go wherever they needed to try to help me find an answer.
So let's go back a little. He was missing from Skyline Elementary, right?
Yep.
What could you get like the exact steps that were made that day? So he arrived, and wasn't there like a science fair, right?
There was a science fair, so he arrived with his mother and his little sister. Um, they went. She claims that they went to his classroom and dropped off his backpack and coat, and then they went downstairs to where the fair was, and everybody went around to the different little things, and then she says she walked him up the stairs and watched him walk down the hall in towards his classroom door. Then she said she heard a bell ring, and that's at about 8:45 at that school, I guess. She heard a bell ring, and that's when she left and took her daughter, went out the stairs, loaded the truck up with her child, and then drove to Fred Meyer.
Okay. Is there any proof that we can like suggest that she actually went to places she claimed to be?
Yeah, no, there's the proof has been provided that she went to two different Fred Meyers, and like she's seen on security footage in the store with her baby girl.
Yeah.
So that only gives from 8:45 until 9:12 a.m.
Yeah.
That's only a half an hour, and it's like 6 miles from the school to the Fred Meyer. So I'm just, thinking it takes a little bit of time to walk with a child, strap a child into the vehicle, to start the vehicle, get on your way, etc. So she only had like a 10-minute window of time on the drive to the store to do something with him, allegedly, if that's the case. And honestly, the timeline that we are shown, the information that we're given, that makes sense. Like the timeline makes sense. And so now that she's seen on the footage, at those stores, that just solidifies that timeline. So there's only a 10-minute window of time for her to kill the kid, hide him in the truck, or dispose of him, etc.
You know what feeling I get about this case? It has framing all written over it.
Right? Explain to me some more what you mean by that.
So you have this woman with narcissistic tendencies. Their marriage was not going well. She had an extreme hatred, apparently, for Kyron, right?
Well, that's what some reports say, but everybody else is saying what investigators have concluded is that she was a pretty good stepmom.
Fair
So
enough.
I don't know. It could be just maybe within the family dynamic. They're not telling us everything, but
Uh-huh.
I don't think Kane has any problem saying what he thinks about his ex-wife.
Well, definitely. That I have a lot of things to say about my ex-girlfriend, so I get that. I get that. But so this woman, she got cleared. Then there is a probable cause for that. Then is there a real good reason for her to be cleared? If she says where she was, and fair enough, she filled polygraphs, but polygraphs are inconsistent. We all know that.
Yeah.
So if this it is his biological father, right?
Kane, yes.
So this guy, this Kane, the biological father of Kyron, does not want cadaver dogs on his land, and he has marital issues allegedly. Then my gut feeling kind of tells me that he either knows more, or he does not want to, or he did it. There we go. I'm just gonna be blunt with that, but that's strange, right? I mean, if your son is missing, I would go from heaven and back to find my son.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is like so cadaver dogs, etc., things like that, it does cost money.
Yeah, fair
The
enough.
thing is that there have been 6 different businesses that have offered their services with their dogs
For free.
free of charge.
Hmm.
So it's free, it's available, he's not accepting it.
What do we know about the biological mother?
Biological mother, so she had Kyron at her month mark or whatever, but they separated when she was 8 months pregnant with Kyron. So they were granted shared custody of Kyron until 2004. But that was when the mother was diagnosed with kidney failure that required extensive medical intervention. And so Kane took over full custody. But the mother still remained active part of the child's upbringing. And he went to go visit her, spend the summers there, etc. So she was still very much a part of his life.
Okay. So how was Cain with his son? Do we have like any
Honestly,
background on that?
I don't have any background about that at all.
Because that would be curious though. I'm not,
Definitely.
so wow, this is really mind-boggling and strange is the least word I can think about. And I know we do a lot of strange cases, but this one has like and a lot of evidence about suspects and that kind of stuff. What are your thoughts on that? Are there any theories around this case?
Um,
Yeah, of course that the stepmother did it, but
right. Like, because no attention has been brought to anybody else, and everybody else's story checks out, it's hard to sit here as a third, fourth, or fifth party, trying to decipher everything for that.
Is there
Yeah,
could this be a voluntary disappearance?
voluntary disappearance, like the 7-year-old just decided he didn't want to be himself anymore and be somebody else.
Could be. Wouldn't be the first time that somebody ran away
The
that young.
7-year-old.
I'm just throwing it out there. Don't get mad. No, but see,
I'm saying that, like sometimes, like my kid, if I, in any kid in this instance, if they get in trouble or they did something bad, oh, all their problems would be solved by running away. And they pack their cute little bag and they pretend like they're gonna go run away. You know what I mean?
hmm
7 years old, that you don't have the mental capacity to be able to disappear without the means of somebody else helping you.
no, but it could be like a circumstantial thing, that like he vanished, and I don't know how the family situation was, but you hear about a lot of children that run away because the family situation is not that good. They could have been abused, beaten, etc. And small children do pick up
Right.
on that, and maybe by happenstance, then someone maybe kidnapped him. But that's like a whole other scenario, though. I mean, that's an hypothesis that goes way beyond the roof, but still. I mean,
Right. And the day before he disappeared, there was reports of a white truck sitting at a 7-Eleven by not far from the school. And he was there for quite a while, pacing and kind of looking frantic, and asked one of the 7-Eleven employees where the closest school was. But that was the day before.
okay. That was the day before.
The day before he went missing.
Okay, it might be me, but that's also a red flag, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, okay, you have this woman that is really frowned upon just because of her personality disorder, right? She has narcissistic tendencies, and I assume that it would be a logical reason for people to assume that she kidnapped her and did unspeakable things. But she got cleared. That's
Yeah.
one thing we know, right? So that basically eliminates her. So you have this young child, 7 years old, that goes to a science fair at a school, and did not, did he like follow classes afterwards, or he didn't, right?
He didn't. No. The school marked him as absent for the day, and it's my understanding that that school takes attendance in their first class of the day, and he was marked absent that day, even though we got the picture of him from the same day where he's in his school that morning. There's a couple of witnesses that say that they saw Kyron go back to the truck with his mother. But that was never confirmed or denied.
Okay.
How are you today?
Uh,
Oh, well, thank you.
With her mother or stepmother?
The stepmother.
Okay. So,
The biological mother lived in Medford, Oregon.
okay.
I think it was, or Roseburg, Oregon, one of the two.
See, so I'm just telling the story over and over in my head, and fair enough. If you have like marital issues, that's like no issue. But there's always like the logical suspect, and that's apparently this woman or the stepmother of him. And fair enough. Like I said, you could have narcissistic tendencies that does not make you a kidnapper and a killer, especially when you got cleared. Because I do think they consider this now strange disappearance, right? Like you have a special name for that.
Oh,
But
yeah. Yeah, no, everything about Kyron Horman is strange.
so how does it like work with science fairs? Is it like publicly accessible?
Oh, technically, I think so. Yeah, like the kids all set up their little booths, and then you can walk around and look at the different booths.
That's what I was gonna say. Did he set up his booth?
Yeah, yeah, that's the picture that the last photograph taken of him.
With the CSI shirt?
It's during his school science fair with his little CSI shirt
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Okay, so he did set up, and afterwards he went missing. So that,
Yeah.
at least for me, and that's my That's my humble opinion. Then this is obviously not a voluntary disappearance. I mean, if I see that little kid smiling, he's happy. But I could be
Yeah.
totally getting it wrong, obviously. But still, okay. Do we know a time when he went missing?
Well, somewhere between 8:45 and 10 a.m. because 10 a.m. is when they started classes that day. They started school a little bit later in the day due to the science fair going on.
Okay, so between 8 and 10, so you have like 2 hours, or maybe even shorter. You have a public access event that is going on at a school that somebody that has like different intentions to do with somebody, maybe you could lure a kid in, like in a van, for example.
Right. And honestly, so Skyline Elementary School, compared to the other schools in the Portland metro area, Skyline is pretty small. It only has like 300 kids enrolled at a time. Um, so yeah, this was like a small little gathering, I should say, for the science fair.
And I'm pretty sure like teachers were around, and if, for example, the father was there, they would have noticed him there, right?
Yes.
And that's not the case.
Amazingly, Skyline School at the time, I don't know if they've changed it now, which I would have hoped they had, but at that time, in 2010, they didn't have any cameras up
Wow.
on or in the school.
Were there any cameras like around in that area, like CCTVs or?
Oh, no, like Skyline Elementary, it's like you look at it from the Google Maps, you can see like there's woods, heavy woods all around it. There's woods all along the highway. There's a few really expensive, nice houses up on Skyline and the Germantown Road area. Um, yeah, this is a very wooded area that people like go hiking. There's lots of fire access roads and stuff that aren't accessible by public, but for fire aids, etc. Yeah, and it's a windy little road, and it goes up a mountain.
Okay, hold on. I'm just pulling it up here. And where was this at again? Oregon, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a Skyline Elementary School.
Okay, I will put that in between the slides. There we go. No, but just like I said, just by happenstance, it's kind of logical that people would suggest that this woman actually did it. But I'm kind of getting a vibe as you go along that this is the work, might have been the work of a child predator.
Yeah, and that's a very good possibility.
Okay, let's see. Add files. But then again, why would the biological father not have allowed cadaver dogs? That's just wow. Oh yeah, I got it. Skyline Elementary, Oregon. It does look like an old school building, though. It's not like.
Yeah, no, it is. It's very old. It's like one of the original schools in that area for the rural kids.
Oh, now I see the one where Kyron is standing. By the way, I love that name. Don't hear that often.
Yeah,
Kyron.
it's a beautiful name, honestly.
Okay, let me see. Let me add this one as well. So, were there any other like disappearances similar to this one?
Um, I'm not certain. I can look more into that. I would think if there was another missing child, that it would have gotten just as big as this story has for this area because I would think they would want to draw the attention to it if it happened to be like a serial kidnapper or something like that.
Oh,
But that's like the only missing child in that time period.
okay. So this isn't a large community, right? Not like not a big city or.
No, it's so Skyline is a little suburb of Portland. How are you today? This tobacco?
No, like,
Oh no, we just missed it.
Let me see. Let me see. I'm just checking something really quick. Yeah. Oh damn, that's a really nice school. It's indeed on top of the hills.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, wow. Yeah, it's really too bad that they didn't have a camera. They probably would have caught where Kyron would went because it's only like a one-way street, right?
Well, it goes two ways on that, but you can only pull into the school in one way.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Did Kyron do any sports or? I'm just seeing a picture here with him and a ball, so I'm just curious.
I'm not certain. I mean, I would think at age 7, you've got your kid enrolled into at least a sport,
Yeah.
something extracurricular.
Okay, hold on. Let me do some live research here. Let me work some magic. Okay. So, you said something. You worked there, right, or nearby? That's how you know this case, right?
I used to work at Fred Meyer's. Yeah. I worked in the meat and seafood department, but there were some incidences where I got to go into the loss prevention room and see their little security setup there. Help identify somebody getting into somebody else's vehicle that wasn't supposed to. So like that's where I get my basis from, and knowing that they've got top of the line cameras that you can see a football field away.
Wow.
These. Yeah.
So you was really into well, kind of the thing that we do, CSI stuff. It says here, ironically, Kyron Horman had been keen in had a keen interest in forensic science. I bet he was going to be a good one. On that day he disappeared, he was wearing a CSI T-shirt bearing the logo from the Crime Protocol show. I love that shirt though.
Yes, I actually used to play that CSI app on the phone. Used to play that game.
I do love the series as well though, but although it's kind of over exaggerated. I wish everything would be quick as we like research stuff, like
Right,
zoom in on
solved in an
pictures.
hour.
Yeah, exactly. So as you said, was Horman's stepmother Charity Moulton was the last family member to see the boy. Also an assumption to think she was her, to think she did it, but she filled a polygraph test, well, apparently multiple ones, and has been named a suspect by court documents and her own lawyer. Is
Yes,
that because of the
in the
polygraph?
divorce and the restraining order that her ex-husband pulled out on her.
I mean, come on. If you want to hire a hitman, then you're batshit crazy. I mean, let's be honest with that.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
that I guess that hatred was more for like the father than for Kyron.
Probably for the father.
Yeah.
Especially in her Dr. Phil interview, when like it was showed that 3 weeks after he went disappeared, like she was sexting some other guy. Things that people don't normally do when their child missing.
No, exactly.
And she tried to put it back. Well, the police told me to live my life as I normally would. Go to the gym, go do this, do normal things I normally do. And I was just
Apparently
like,
that's normal.
is that normal?
Yeah. Let me
She
see.
she said she was doing that because it was one of her ex-husband's friends that went to high school with him.
Like to hurt
She
him.
said she was doing it for revenge,
Yeah.
to get back at him, etc. So this woman, I don't think she's got a filter on how far she'll take revenge, honestly.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
So that could have, unfortunately, like, he was just, that he was the pawn in her little game, was Kyron, unfortunately.
And let me see. As she says, she claims she was driving rural roads with her infant daughter, Kiara. That almost sound the same, Kiara and Kyron. Trying to soothe her ear infection before checking into a 24-hour fitness. Okay, so she did check in that, obviously, but okay. And the stepmother had no alibi. How is that then not an alibi? Oh, for between 8 and 10, I guess. Then at 1:21 p.m., Moulton claimed to have arrived home, logged into Facebook, and posted photos. How? I'm pulling this from a website, right? I'm not sure how credible it is, but that's not a claim. That's actually then a fact. If she logged into Facebook, then they're all logged from that time span.
Yeah. She logged into Facebook and posted the picture that you've seen, his little
Okay.
CSI shirt and his little project board behind him.
I mean, that does say something, right? I mean, that does not seem like somebody who hates her stepson.
Right. And I don't feel like she hated her stepson at all. I feel like she hated what Kane
Yeah.
was doing and what was up to. And then, so yeah. So then Kyron was, like I said, was her pawn on this, like to get back at Kane somehow.
Yeah.
Honestly breaks my heart that people use children as leverage in that aspect.
Definitely, definitely. So let's try to get into this Kane guy. Kane then married. Hold on, I'm starting halfway a sentence. Let me see. Then Kyron Horman's father, Kane, joined Moulton to meet the school bus at 3:30 p.m. But Horman did not get off. When they drove to the school and found out that Horman had been marked absent all day, they had the secretary call 911, and so began the largest missing person search in Oregon history to date. At the heart,
Yep.
at the heart of the search for Kyron Horman is the relationship between parents and stepmother. Her biological parents, Kane Horman and Desiree Young, divorced when the boy was small, just as you said. And the two shared custody until Desiree becomes severely ill with kidney problems. I mean,
Yep.
that's logical, right?
Very.
She was forced to move back in with her parents and give up full custody. Yeah, I do get that, and I feel honestly really terrible for her biological mother. Of Horman,
Right.
of Horman to Kane until she full custody of Horman to Kane until she fully recovered. Okay. Kane then married Terry Moulton, with whom he had a daughter, Kiara. But things apparently were not going too well in the marriage, according to emails that Moulton sent to her friends. Okay, so that kind of proves that the things were not going well in the marriage.
Right.
After police showed her these messages, Young said that emails revealed that Moulton had a severe hatred for Kyron. But if that was because of Kane, I'm kind of guessing that is the part. So that's why I was saying it's kind of like logical from the thing that I'm reading here to point fingers at her. Here, this is a quote. So, quote. She blames a lot of marital problems between Kane and herself on Kyron. It was a huge point in contention in their marriage, and she had expressed a great detail of hatred for Kyron. End quote. At least that's what Young said. But who is Young? Is that like her lawyer? I'm not getting that out of here, but anyways. I now believe without a shadow of a doubt that not only she's capable, yeah, I think that's the lawyer. She's not capable of hurting Kyron, that it's clear that she should have hurt him in the worst possible way. But that's a huge assumption. I think at least. Initially, there was no real interest in Moulton as a suspect in Kyron Horman's disappearance. Sources indicated that there was a probability of deception during her first polygraph, and gaps in the timeline. But as you said, there was only a 10-minute timeline, right, for her to do all these actions. Yet none of these details amounted to anything for the suspicion until about a month into the investigation when a bombshell was dropped. Okay, so there we go. That the landscaper or the guy you were talking about that put got offered money, right? For
Right.
but that's a month after that. So
Correct.
oh that I love my analytical brain sometimes. So what if she knew that fair? She had like apparently she had a hatred for Kyron, but what if the dad actually did it and she wanted to put a hit out because of that?
Oh well, the whole conversation of hire to kill was 5 months before Kyron disappeared.
Oh, 5 months before. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm in the wrong. Okay, for 10 days, Corona. Not kidding. For 10 days, Horman's case was considered a missing person one. But then investigators announced that it was officially a criminal investigation. I wonder why. How could they be sure that this is gonna be a criminal investigation if there is like no leads to it? They have to have like something, right?
Yeah.
In July 2010, a local landscaper who Moulton previously hired showed up at the police station. Oh, that was the guy you said that she offered him money. Okay, I do not want to repeat anything you said. Uh, Detective shared the landscaper's account with Kane, and he left the house on June 26th with the couple's 19-year-old month's daughter. Huh. Oh, so he actually left, but what happened then to Moulton? So he just took him?
Then they
Her?
went to court, and she was court ordered to move out of his house.
But what about the little child, Kyra,
He has Kiara.
Kiara? Oh, okay, okay. Unfortunately, police have no other suspects, and there's little to no updates. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, then it could be like a third party was involved there.
Yeah.
All the searches to date that let me see, Horman's father told that all the searches to date that I know of both private and by the sheriff's office or the search and rescue teams, there's been no piece of evidence forensically linked to our case. Oh, so that's why he found it not interesting enough to have cadaver dogs go around his land, apparently.
I don't know. Honestly, I would want them to go wherever they needed to. Just like to clear myself even more, or or to bring to light a new suspect.
But that's crazy, though. I mean, this King guy must be some piece of work himself as well.
The thing that's interesting is there was another girl that went missing a few years ago. Her name was Allison Watterson, and Kane had like a fund set up to help those parents try to locate their daughter.
What?
On a side note, she was located 6 months later, deceased, in North Plains, Oregon. But like he started a fund thing to help this other family try to find their lost child.
Ah, fair enough.
But I feel like he's not exhausting all his avenues for himself.
I totally agree. But then again, I kind of got the feeling that this Kane, that he is, like I said, a piece of work himself. But then again, if he is like 100% sure that his kid is not within, that he didn't do anything, then I guess it could be a credible answer, like to deny like cadaver dogs on his land, because it can like really hurt your ego to have like something done on your property while you're pretty sure that you're not the person responsible. You get what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So if there were like people there with cadaver dogs like just around your area, it would make you more, well, suspicious. I guess I do not know. People always talk, and there are always rumors. So it kind of is a thing of happenstance that it can go both ways.
Yeah.
But wow, like I said, this story is like so bizarre, and you have different points of interest that you can actually search to.
Yeah.
But yeah, at first, and I like to correct myself. So at first, I thought the mother did it by just the things that are being said here, you know. But as you went along with the story, I was like, hold on, that cannot be right. Like if there is video evidence, and there's only a 10 minute window gap. There's just no way.
Yeah.
And then you said there
And
is.
so
I'm going.
the person who was pacing in front of the 7-Eleven the day before, like 7-Eleven called the cops and was like, we have a suspicious person, etc. And honestly, I know it was the day before, but I think that person needs to be looked at, whomever that was, because maybe there is some tie to the case. Like, why would you be pacing in front of a 7-Eleven, and then when an employee asks you if you need help with anything, you ask where the closest school is?
Yeah, like
That to me is suspect.
yeah, definitely. When I grew up as a kid, we always needed to go. At a certain point, there was like 2 weeks we couldn't go outside because there was a guy also like talking to children, and we were always kind of well, not really scared, but we were made aware of that there were people that had ill intent. And when my family, for example, met up with each other, and that was like mostly every single weekend, they went like, yeah, there was a child abductor, and we were only living like in a small community, right? And they
Yeah.
always like, yeah, watch out for the man in the white van.
Right?
Yeah, no, it sounds really stupid, but that totally brings up nostalgia. Like it totally sounds like a child predator. So Oregon is it's not that small that you can like eliminate suspects, right? It's pretty big compared to other cities. Well, not cities, but
Uh, Yeah, yeah, definitely. Especially like all along the Interstate 5 corridor, like which runs from the top of the United States all the way down to Mexico. I-5 majority of the population is all down that, which is the Willamette Valley. And then a lot of the rest of Oregon is very rural. It's deserty in over half the state. So,
You know, a lot of child offenders, they do it again. They cannot help themselves. So I'm curious that if they looked into that. I bet they have, but well, Oregon is big though. I mean, it's a state, so but still. I'm just noticing that, to be honest. That's how good that's how good my topographical skills are from the United States. I definitely should
so
be
the
ashamed of myself.
Portland metro area, which means Portland and all the little surrounding cities that all kind of clump together. There is 2.5 million people in the Portland area.
Okay.
Yeah, if that gives you any reference of how many people, there's a lot of people there.
Mm-hmm. No, but fair enough. If you have like, there's a whole list like of child offenders, right?
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if they have ever like looked into that because there are a lot of people who can lure people in with candy, for example. I mean, I don't know, but and then especially with a white van, I mean that has child predator written all over it.
Right, you just need a tattoo of a Jolly Rancher on your palm.
Exactly. Now, I was watching. I was watching one of my favorite shows, Elementary. It's like the modern Sherlock Holmes,
Oh
and
yeah, I love that show.
and it was one episode. I always go back and forth between episodes, so when I watch it, the series out, I just start over again. So there was this part with the balloon man, and
Like the Blue Man.
no, the balloon man. So there was this also this child predator, and then
Oh,
a child who got abducted actually became the serial killer the balloon man was.
huh.
That blew my mind though. But when you started to talk about a white van, I was like, what? And that so reminded me of that episode. By the way, it has nothing to do with this, but it just reminded me of
No,
that.
no.
So, well, there are no other suspects, and yeah, I'm just I'm trying like to figure out like where this could go. But if there's a third party involved and there's no circumstantial evidence of a third party being there, then
Right.
what could have happened? Could a teacher, for example, have taken him?
I suppose a teacher could have, but I know the police interviewed all the children and teachers. Uh, they interviewed everybody who was at school that day.
Okay, so was this science fair advertised?
I don't know. I imagine within the school district, yes. Um, but it, like I think it was advertised within the students that went there and to the parents. But I don't think it was like on
What,
the news or
you,
anything.
you know what I'm curious about? Would Kyron talk to a stranger?
It's a possibility,
So everybody was questioned,
especially
right,
if
at
that
his school.
stranger like seemed interested in his project or
Yeah,
something. You know,
yeah,
I could see a kid wanting to show their stuff off.
definitely. So he was seen at the school at his little market. So after that, he disappeared. So we know just from the timeline that Molten left and that he was in fact in that class with that science fair. I mean, we got that picture, right?
Yep.
Were there any suspicious people at all in that school?
I don't know. I think it was protocol for them to interview everybody at the school.
No,
Um,
no. What I was more saying is that there are teachers there, right? They would have seen someone who would stand off.
I would think so. Yeah.
And it could be, for example, a person Kyron knew, or the teacher knew that was trustworthy enough to not think anything about it. So missing since June 4, 2010. Missing Portland, Oregon. Date of birth September 9th, 2002. His age would now be 19. Kyron's photo is a shown age progress to 14 years. Okay, so fair enough. It's a green letter and handprint graphic. He was also wearing black cargo pants, white socks, and black sketches. Hmm. Okay, that scared the crap out of me.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for the heads
Gonna
up.
be scared of just a little vacuum.
Okay, so let's try to get some more information about this. Oh, it's even on
Okay.
oh, the FBI even was involved with this. It's in the
Yeah,
FBI.
definitely.
Okay. Not much. Kyron has a distinctive V-shaped strawberry birthmark on his forehead. Ah, that's cute. Uh, okay, if you have any information concerning this case, and I will put it also in the description below, please contact the local tip line at 503-261-2847 or your local FBI office. Okay, so let me see. There was an article on June 7, 2020. Let's see what this has to say about Kyron. 12 years after Kyron Horman vanished from a Portland elementary school, the National Center for Missing Persons and Endangered Children has released a new age process photo. Okay, I will actually copy this one as well and put it into the slideshow. There we go. Oh, okay. The National Center for Missing and Endangered Children has released a new age processing photo showing what the 7-year-old might have looked like today. A photo on a center website and video posted to its social media shows a young man of 19 to or 20. Stupid fly. I apologize. I'm getting terrorized by a fly. A young man of the age of 19 or 20 with light brown hair and blue eyes covered with rectangular shaped glasses. Police hope this brand new image can finally help bring him home, the caption reads. Then we notice the boy disappeared without a trace from Skyline Elementary School on June 4, 2010, spurred the largest effort in Oregon history and garnered national attention as the investigation turned a spotlight on a stepmother, Terry Moulton Horman. She was never charged in the disappearance. Kyron's mother, Desiree Young, said the tip from the southern Oregon to Portland never gets any easier as she works to keep the disappearance in the public eye. There are also huge billboards with Kyron on it, right?
Yeah, they purchased a total of 30.
Wow.
10 of them in English, 10 of them in Spanish, and 10 of them in Russian.
Why in Russian?
Yeah, Portland has a very large community of Russian immigrants.
Oh, okay. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Making the drive in for hold on. I think I need glasses. Just saying. Kyron's mother, Desiree Young, said that the trip from southern Oregon to Portland never gets any easier as she works to keep up the disappearance in the public eye. Making the drive in for 12 years and pulling up to the school and knowing this was the last place Kyron was, I can't even explain the anguish and the heartache, Young said Saturday during a news conference with Portland TV stations. I'm not sure if I'm gonna say this right, but I'm gonna try my best. The Multnomah, oh, I'm so proud of myself, County Sheriff's Office.
You did really well. Yeah, Multnomah, you said it right.
Collected reference photos to produce the new image, estimating what Horman may look like more than a decade later. Age processing photos of the second grader has been released every few years, first at the age of 10 or 11, then 14 or 15. And the latest, the boy's stepmother snapped the latest dot. The boy's stepmother snapped the last known photo of Kyron on the morning he went missing, as she posted it in front of the science fair project about the red eye tree frog. I'm never heard of that, but fair enough. He wore a black T-shirt with CSI in green letters and a handprint graphic. Police say he was also wearing cargo pants, white socks, black Skechers sneakers with orange trim. He had a distinct V-shaped strawberry birthmark on his forehead. Okay, do we know that? Um, the criminal investigation remains open and active. The sheriff office said in a statement. Spokesman Chris Lytle. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because that's a story here. Spokesman Chris Lytle said that. Oh no, I'm saying his name wrong. It's Lytle. It's not Lytle. Okay, once again, spokesman Chris Lytle. Or Lytle. Oh my God, hold on. I need to compose myself for a second. No, that's just an inside joke here, but still. Spokesman Chris Lytle said that the sheriff's office received one of 20 leads, 20 leads monthly, depending on how much publicity the case gets. Well, two detectives and an FBI agent remain assigned to the case and follow up on tips, he said. Okay. Lytle released a few other details. Oh, the sheriff's office has repeatedly declined to release case recordings. Okay, this is getting interesting. It was already interesting, but including 911 calls. Oh, that's the thing you said about the white van, I think. So, citing the open investigations. Ongoing efforts include comparing DNA from Kyron's toothbrush and other family members against the National DNA Database. The sheriff's office statement said that Kyron's dental characteristic. That's one of the most annoying English words that you guys have there. Characteristics. And X-rays also have been uploaded into the National Missing and Unidentified Person System to compare with the unidentified remain across the U.S. So let's not hope that brings up a match. But a $50,000 reward is available for information leading to the resolution of this case. Are you really laughing at me? Not kidding. Tips to the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. I already said that number. That's just the FBI number, but still. Or the National for Missing and Exploited Children tip line at 1-800-THE-LOST. The possibility of Kyron still being alive is not zero. That actually breaks my heart. Oh, it's not zero. Okay, that kind of shines light on things. And our greatest hope has always been that he would return. Wouldn't be the first case. Have you? Okay. Besides that, okay. Hold on. Let me do something real quick. Okay, be right back.
He could turn up still alive, like Elizabeth Smart.
No,
Or something like that.
No, wait. I've got another case, and I think that's probably gonna be our next episode. But did you ever watch the girl in the picture?
Yes.
Okay. So wait on. I'm gonna be right back.
Okay.
See, talking for an hour is no issue, but then there's something called your brother, and that's really annoying. Okay, so what I was gonna say is that yeah, this honestly, I always watch like kind of movies that are true crime based and stuff, but this actually a colleague of mine said, you know, you're true crime obsessed, so you need to watch this case. So I did, and I was my mind just blew up. So you have this girl, and that's why I'm saying this. Yeah, you have this girl that apparently married her father, and then apparently she wasn't her original daughter, but she got kidnapped like way earlier. So definitely there are
Wow.
cases, as you said as well, there are cases that come up in a good way.
Right.
But I guess that's kind of the only. We pretty much did everything of the public information that we have, at least that we pretty much covered this case, right? I honestly do not have a clue who would have done this though. Like no family members. Like sure you have a woman that's batshit crazy, but still, if she is if the police did their research well, then she's cleared, and she did not do it, and people need like to stop looking into her, I guess. But I'm guessing this is more a feud between two persons that just end up in a wrong marriage, I guess, than they
Yeah.
having something to do with the disappearance of Kyron. Okay, wow, that's really interesting, but also really annoying because you do not have any leads.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's it then for today, right? Any particular cases you want to do tomorrow?
I can't think of one off the top of my head, but give a few and I'll message it to you.
Okay, no worries. Well, anyways, you were good as always, and
Thank you.
I have to say our little lovely podcast is growing bigger and bigger, so we have to give ourselves a pat on the shoulder.
For sure.
So I guess that's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like and subscribe, and well, donate us at least like $10 million. Not kidding. We do not care about donation stuff. But anyways, thank you for listening, and until the next one.